Danish, can you share a bit of your background?
Hello, my name is Danish. I am currently 22 years old, studying as a sports coach. Because when I grew up, I aspired to be one.
Okay, so what makes you want to pick up football?
It's basically passion. Plus, I picked up football when I was in primary school. I just like the play, how football works, the rules and stuff. Yeah, it's just like love at first sight.
Okay. Is that why you want to become a coach as well?
Well, initially, I'm pretty sure everyone wants to be a football player or a professional at least. And yeah, I think from there, it kind of inspired me to become a coach when I didn't get a chance to be a professional footballer. So during my secondary school, when I was in starting from sec 1, I joined the CCA and I get into the school team. And from there, I tried to pursue to be one. And as it goes along, I decided to change my mind.
So are your parents supportive of you becoming a coach?
Well, definitely yes, because they know I like to go outside of the house, move around. They know how I work. Like they know I like to engage in sports. So yeah, becoming a coach is one of the things that they are very supportive of, and they are supportive when I pick up the diploma in sports coaching for RP.
I see. Were there any expectations or like support structures they provided for you to pick up football?
No, they just say just do whatever you like to do, follow your heart. I'm the one who find the structure and try to be there when everything goes well or when everything goes south. Yeah. So I guess you can say I'm on my own.
Okay, so in what way has your primary, secondary, and tertiary education contributed your interest and involvement in football?
Okay. So for primary school, whenever there's PE lessons, right, and the teacher conducts football, I always try to be involved and learn about the sports. So I felt so much joy and so much happiness when I play football. So in secondary school, that's where I started to become a bit more serious and pick up football as a CCA since my primary school doesn't have any football CCA. Yeah, so when I was in secondary school, I was in the school team and I represented for Christchurch Secondary School maybe about 2 years. Yeah, and I participated in the B Division North Zone competition. And for tertiary, it's a bit different. It's kind of degrading and demotivating for me because from what I heard is they tend to source players from local clubs, or even if they have a chance to give it a try, they will unlikely get it. They only focus on those who are inside the football, and I'm not one of them. So I don't bother venturing into that when I was in IT. Same thing when I'm in poly right now. I just give it a try. And that's how it doesn't work out. So I think my involvement in football is just casual and outside.
Then through your experience, right, how would you want to influence your students?
Well, I mean, as a coach, you have to educate the young players, especially in values, because sports in Singapore is like education, So you play the sports, at the same time you learn something about maybe discipline, teamwork, and some other stuff, responsibility, you name it all. And how I want to, make an impact and have a legacy on my student is by trying to be, a role model for them, a good role model. For example, coming to training early, being very professional in how I speak and how I, approach the players. For example, let's say if the player is rowdy, if the player is naughty, I would say I will not jump to conclusion and scold them. I will just try to raise my voice to say that, hey, I'm here, come, let's do this quick, and let's try to, be serious about it. Because, most of the time when kids, they just want it to have fun, but sometimes the parents also have expectations of them. So as a coach, we have to try and educate them as much as possible in terms of the technical fundamental skills and also the values part. That's the most important.
And the working hours, like let's say today, right, does it affect your religious beliefs?
Partly no. I mean, I have time now to go home, pray. But towards the afternoon, it's a bit rush because my belief is I'm a Muslim, so my belief is we have to pray 5 times a day. So when we end at 6 today in the afternoon session, one of the afternoon prayers is gonna be affected if we trap the staff. So I have to find a secluded spot in the venue to quickly do my afternoon prayer before the next prayer commences. So partly yes, partly no.
So do you have any football coaches you look up to or have been influential in your football journey? And how has this coach helped you improve or overcome challenges?
Honestly, if you were to talk about professional coaches, I don't have any because I watch football because of the players. Actually, the coaches, I do, look at them and try to follow them, but I don't really follow person. I think partly it's because of my secondary school coach. Yeah, I not say that I really look up to him because he was fierce to me. Yeah, basically I want to try to see how am I as a coach. Because since my secondary school coach is like a very traditional coach, he likes to shout, he likes to aim at people, especially me. I want to see if I would be like him, but no. Maybe that's partly the reason why I want to choose coaching as my dream to pursue. I want to see how I engage with students or how I teach people in general. Yeah.
Reflecting on your early years in football, how much adult involvement was there? And how does it affect your experience and enjoyment of the sport?
Suddenly change interviewer. My parents don't really mind me playing football or pursuing any sports, but they are concerned about my studies. Yeah, studies in general. So my parents play a huge role in dictating what I want to become. Because as I was in secondary school, I did quite badly for my studies, and that's where I try to be practical about being pursuing a career in football in Singapore. Yeah, I have to be practical and sustainable for my future. So I kind of want to be involved in football, but at the same time, be a bit more, stable in money-wise and stuff. But that's why I try to choose the path of a coach and try to pursue from there. So my parents is involved now. Yeah.
How about your coaches or your secondary school teachers maybe?
They're just there to advise. They don't really talk about what I want to do. Especially my coach. My coach is just there to teach try to get us to understand what he wants. But my secondary school teacher, yeah, although he's not really like drilling us about the future, but he does talk to us about what we want to do when we grow up from time to time. Yeah. But mostly my parents is the support lah.
So like did that like affect your experience for like enjoyment?
Definitely. Because my parents always say like do the best for what you can. So as I mature, I started to realize that not all things you want you can get. So if I don't get to be a professional footballer, why not? I will just be a coach and still be involved in football, get something to be involved in. So that's the reason why I try to be a coach.
Do you feel that the youth football scene today is more performance oriented than when you started? And how does this focus on competition and skill development affect the enjoyment and participation in sport?
I think there's a bit of a change when I play football and now. Because youth now I think we are trying to focus on developmental instead of like performance based. Although yes, there is a bit of element of performance, but we are mostly trying to get the youth today to be involved in sports, any sports in general. Because technology as they are growing up, they are trying to be involved in their phones. They are not really going outside. So I feel like during my time it's more performance based because, like I said, I have a coach that is very strict. So the dynamics is very different from last time compared to now. Now it's trying to get youth to be more involved in sports rather than to be more competitive. Yeah.
Do you think like the players like they are more inclined, like as in like there's more enjoyment?
Definitely. I mean, as I said earlier on, I feel that they are trying to come here and play around, but at the same time, we are trying to teach them something, technical skills or value space. We are trying to, get them, they are involved, but we need to also teach them something in order for them to be also better at football or any other sport. Because in a sports settings, you not only need to be better at the skill, but you also need to know how to work with people and also to be overall a good person. And the way you bring up yourself in public when you grow up.
So in your experience as a coach, right, how does the structure of adult organized youth football in Singapore, the like training sessions or like leagues and rules are set by adults, right, to benefit younger players?
Okay, so let's bring it to the coach context. So let's say the coach organizes a game and use some modified rules. You're obviously there to teach them the meaning behind the rules. Maybe for example, you only have 3 seconds to put the ball. Why 3 seconds? Because you need to share the ball, you have to pass the ball. You have to really like get the kids and students thinking how to play the game, not using your legs, but also using your brain. Yeah. So through adult organized sports, right? Adult organized plan. We are trying to be there to share our experience and knowledge with the players so that they can understand some rationale behind why we do not want them to do this or do any of any of the bad play. Example for my case, when a kid tries to dribble on their own, I always try to say, hey, not only you can dribble, okay, that's part of football, but you also can pass or you can directly shoot inside the goal if you have the opportunity. But sometimes kids they don't have this like game sense. So we try to ask them questions or make special rules for them so that they can really think about the rules cognitively and have the autonomy to make their own decisions during the game.
And would you say that young players, right, they will benefit like over like having like more control over like their training on the games, similar to athlete organized sports?
Well, I think if the kids were to organize the game themselves, they will develop leadership skills. However, they will not be exposed to the rules, actual rules. So that if they are not exposed to the actual rules, they are kind of not learning anything. So it's best to have like an adult and an athlete, to teach them how to play the games. But of course, I do support kids making their own games, making their own rules, as it will develop their leadership skills and social skills. Yeah.
From your perspective, one of the goals of youth football is to help younger players, develop skills like teamwork, discipline, respect for rules. How do you see these values being reinforced in Singapore's structured youth football program?
I guess it's basically about coming together and enjoying the sports together in Singapore. Since Singapore, the sports scene is not really huge, especially for football compared to Malaysia. Malaysia, they have a big, audience. Over here in Singapore, we have a small audience. So to get the kids to play football and watching them grow, it's a heartwarming thing to do. Plus, we try to teach values, right, in kids as they grow up. Not only to develop them in social, but also to develop them in mental, psychological, to know how to think before they say, and to show maybe sportsmanship. Yeah, because sportsmanship is very important, especially in Singapore where we highly emphasize on education. So we have to like teach them to, before you say something, you must think about it. It might affect your peers' feelings.
So as a coach, right, is there like any specific values or skills you prioritize as a coach as you teach your young players?
Definitely respect. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have respect, nobody's gonna like you. Nobody's going to take you seriously. Nobody's going to like be around you in general. Because when you have respect, it goes a long way. Because it's a two-way thing. So if the kid, try to show sportsmanship by helping the other kid who fell get back up, or the parents see, the coaches see, it's gonna be a very good thing for us because you will say, oh, that's my kid because I taught them that. So yeah.
So from a broader perspective, some critics say that adult organized sport may sometimes prioritize the goals of adults, so maybe for example like coaches or like sponsors over the well-being of young players. How do you ensure that your coaching approach keeps the players interest at the center?
I always try to ask them, what do you want to achieve? After, let's say if you stop playing football here, like in my company, stop playing football inside the school, what can you do outside? I always try to understand, that's the keyword, understand where the players are coming from. But sometimes when they come here, it's not because they want, it's because the parents want. So I just want to, try my best to do my part as a coach, try to motivate them, but at the same time I also want to know what they want. So if I understand what they want, I can try to, not only just do my part as a coach, I can try to be like a friend or a parent to give them courage and also to advise them what's the next step. Maybe if you don't like football, we can try other sports, no problem.
The relationship with teammates and coaches can shape a player's experience and attachment to the sport. So in this case, football. So how do you build strong connection with your players?
Well, always try to understand them, try to make small talks with them. Maybe let's say if they are late, I will not scold them. I will just like, you think, why are you late? Come to push up. I'm just kidding. Just take a ball and join the rest. I'll try to be like a friend kind, but at the same time I'll also be firm because I don't want players to step over me. Yeah, from there I try to build a rapport with their parents as well, so that I can understand why they are sending their kids here and also what is their expectation of them as a parent. And for the youth in general, maybe we try to get all of them to have water breaks together so that when they are sitting together, they can make small talks before the next drills or exercise is being commenced. So this way, when they sit together, they can develop a bond, maybe try to understand each other, or maybe try to learn a thing or two about each other, especially in football or any other sports.
So like, do you think like this affects their enjoyment or like commitment to the sport?
They will not be affected much because if they know that their friend is coming to play football, they will also join. But sometimes when bad things happen, let's say they have a teammate that always likes to demand things, like shout, likes to be negative. Obviously, it might affect them in a way, but most of the time, from what I see as a coach, they came here to enjoy with their friend and try to learn some things and also try to be a better person in general. And when we teach values.
So for our last question, right, if you could suggest one change to improve the youth football environment in Singapore, like while focusing on creating a positive and enjoyable experience, right, what would
Yeah, I will try to maybe open up avenue for youth to play. So maybe let's say if it's like a charity work, maybe we can set up some things like maybe every Saturday we book a field, and that's where you can let other players, maybe outside players who don't have any money or who is not well off, just play the sports. Because at the end of the day, we don't want them to be shy away from sports just because they don't have money or they don't have so maybe they don't have some things to pick up. Maybe we can like try to engage in community centers. We try to tell them, okay, we're gonna organize this and this. Then from there, we will try to get youth involvement without any anything in return. It's just your charity work and try to get everything and kids and the students to be involved in the sporting scene.
Thank you so much for answering the questions.
Yeah. Thank you for the time.
Yeah, that's the end of the interview.